Micron just reported earnings, and I believe this earnings report was amazing news for Nvidia and AMD. Let me explain why.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
Now, for those that don't know Micron Technology, this is a company that provides memory solutions for various amounts of different markets. And one of the most popular markets right now is the data center and AI accelerators. So Micron provides a lot of solutions for AI accelerators, just we're going to see like HBM. And like I mentioned, memory pretty much goes in every other industry. So for NVIDIA, the biggest opportunity and kind of the biggest bullish take here is demand is still insane, even though we knew that, right? This is just another kind of confirmation data point. And for AMD, while AMD is not the biggest AI accelerator company, obviously the news of AI growth continues, could be seen as a bullish thing for AMD. For me, the biggest thing here is we are going to get some commentary about the PC space. And for AMD, the PC space and kind of consumer electronics, consumer laptops is still very crucial for both its top and bottom line number. And that's where I believe Micron is providing some great insight for AMD investors. Now, let's just kind of take a closer look at what the company was expecting and what it produced. So earnings per share were $1.56 when it was expected to be roughly $1.42. Revenue was expected to be $7.9 billion, and the company did over $8 billion in revenue. So overall, a nice beat, and we are going to see that for the fiscal quarter, Micron did kind of guide for about $8.8 billion when investors were expecting on average, or analysts were expecting on average around 8.5. Adjusted earnings would be roughly 1.57, again beating the average estimate by that was about $1.47. So a beat all around here for Micron. And if we take a closer look, that $8.8 billion of revenue for fiscal quarter 3 for their year of 2025 would be a record year for them. So their last record was the most was quarter one, which they did about 8.7. This quarter was a bit of a sequential drop, but now if we go back to kind of quarter 3, you are going to see another record quarter for them, which I think is pretty amazing. Micron did mention that they delivered fiscal quarter 2 earnings per share above guidance, and data center revenue tripled from a year ago. Also, don't forget to check out whatthechiphappened.com for my free daily semiconductor newsletter. The link is down below. So now I want to take a closer look at their presentations. And even if you're not a Micron shareholder, I would 100% say take the time to either listen to the earnings call or at least read this presentation, which you could probably do in less than 20 minutes. Now, they talk a lot about the DRAM space, and DRAM is what is needed to create HBM. So HBM is kind of the big popular topic here for Micron. And they mentioned that in fiscal quarter 2, data center DRAM revenue reached a new record. HBM revenue grew more than 50% sequentially to a new milestone of over $1 billion of quarterly revenues. Their other thing that they mentioned, I think this is actually very bullish for NVIDIA, is their HBM shipments were ahead of plans, demonstrating strong execution of their ongoing ramp. And we know that AI chips in general are very supply constrained. The reason they're supply constrained is things like HBM are not moving as fast, or things like advanced packaging. So if they're able to produce more chips than originally intended, or more HBM than originally intended, then this could be seen as a way that NVIDIA and all these other AI accelerator companies can make more chips this year than originally thought possible. Now, one of the worries for memory companies is always that, hey, look, there's always a supply and demand imbalance, right? Eventually, you kind of tend to have over inventory. But with HBM, that is actually fixed a little bit or changed a little bit. The reason being is for HBM, for every kind of type of memory that you use for HBM, you're actually trading a multiple of actual DRAMs to get that HBM. So you're reducing your supply. And they mentioned that this trade-off ratio is contributing to tightness at leading edge and constraining non-HBM DRAM supply. So this is definitely something that is going to help Micron, at least for now, making sure that there is no oversupply in DRAM solutions. Now, in the data center market, we did see that the company mentioned that some of their products came a little bit stronger ahead of schedule, or that the capacity came in ahead of schedule. So in the data center, they see strong demand for HBM, and they once again increased their HBM total addressable estimate for calendar of 2025 to over $35 billion. So again, a good customer of NVIDIA is a good customer of Micron is NVIDIA, but you also have a lot of other AI chip players. So if you are seeing a total addressable market increasing in this calendar year, it's showcasing that in theory, those other AI chips are going to see a nice growth as well. Now, even with this kind of added inventory, as previously mentioned, Micron is sold out of HBM output in calendar 2025, and they are already working on agreements for their calendar 2026 HBM demand. Now, in forms of the next stage of HBM, right now we are in HBM 3E 12 high, and they did begin volume production of this and are focusing on ramping capacity and yield. They anticipate HBM 3E 12 high will compromise the vast majority of HBM shipments in the second half of calendar 2025. And they are making good progress on additional platforms and customer qualifications. So Micron's HBM3E 8 high is designed into NVIDIA's GB200. The HBM3 12 high is designed into the GB300, which is the Blackwell Ultra. They also initiated volume shipment to their third large HBM3E customer and anticipate additional customers over time. Now, in forms of HBM, which is crucial, they are very excited about that, and they expect ramp volume in calendar of 2026. Now, overall, that just gives us a nice bullish take of the data center market. Again, if you have been following NVIDIA, you know that the demand is there and the demand is real. Now, Micron is just another data point confirming that for us. Now, I mentioned this is also very good for AMD. So AMD obviously focuses on AI chip. So an increase of HBM capacity can help them typically sell more AI chips. But the reason I'm more excited is the company continues to believe that the PC market is expected to grow mid-single digits in unit terms in calendar of 2025, with growth weighted to the second half of calendar of 2025. And again, AMD is a big player in the consumer space in forms of CPUs and GPUs, mainly in CPUs. So if this is a market that's expected to grow mid-single digits, and AMD is kind of taking market share and is expected to take market share in kind of like the laptop space versus Intel, then if the overall market is growing mid-single digits, then that could allow AMD to grow at faster levels. So for AMD, again, even though the most of the market sees this as a true data center or AI player, while that is true, I think investors should also look at AMD as still important in the consumer space, or that the consumer space is still important for AMD's valuation. So overall, Micron's technology is just a good push of confidence for the AI space in both the data center and the consumer space. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.